Why is it that men are so scared of being in a relationship? Like, seriously, why? Why are you guys so afraid of commitment? Like, who hurt you guys?
Legit question, where are all the nice guys at who aren't asking every single girl on TikTok for their Snapchat or asking for boob pictures and aren't talking to multiple women? I feel like TikTok is getting to some people's egos and it's hard to find good guys and good girls these days.
This guy understands what I fucking want.
A man that I fucking need, bitch. You're all replaceable. Don't ever get too comfortable and don't ever think otherwise. You're a guest in this household and you can be kicked out just as quickly as you were welcome.
So, I've been sitting here like this, driving, the camera on, no music, driving under the speed limit. That's how you know I'm in trouble. That's exactly how you know I'm in trouble. And I don't know how to start the video. I mean, it's going to be like a serious topic. And I know people are going to start making assumptions off of me based off of the topic that this video is about. I'm just here to speak facts and allow you to develop your own opinions. So, I'm going to start this video right off by saying, and again, this is a brilliant segue into what I'm talking about. I am not a misogynist, and I am also not sexist. I think women are great. But there's a lot of issues with today's generation of women and men. I'm not going to say men are perfect. I could do a whole video on men too. But I want to talk about women today because I have been spending a lot of time on TikTok, of all places. I made a TikTok. I thought, because I do a lot of Snapchat, and stuff like that, Instagram. I thought, well, maybe I could break into TikTok and like do some of that stuff. The problem is, with me, I get addicted to scrolling through people's videos they put on there, and all I see is just a lot of hate. And I have spent a lot of time observing. What in the hell are you doing? Put on your signal. Now, I'm going to also preface this entire video by saying nowhere in this video am I going to repeatedly justify what I say by saying, well, not all women are like this. Not all women. You can gather that. No, not all women do these things. This is probably the only time in this video I'm going to say that. No, not all women do these things. Okay, let me say it one more time. This video does not apply to all women. Unfortunately, from what I've seen on the internet, it applies to the majority of women these days. I spent a lot of time observing a lot of different groups of people, but today, of course, I'm going to focus on women. And it's just a lot of troubling things. A lot of things that they say don't make sense and don't add up. And there's just a lot of double standards and false, I wouldn't say teachings, because that makes it sound old, false philosophy going around. So, I mean, one of them, I'm just going to, I guess, jump in. I saw a girl posted a thing, and she said, do men really not understand when we want attention? Yes, I'm ignoring you because I want you to talk to me. And translation. Hi, hello. I want a man that can read minds because I have no communication skills and I need a man that has telepathic abilities to compensate for that. Translation. Yes, I'm going to ignore you anyway. But can you please keep texting me because I want that validation and it boosts my ego. Now, I know it deflates yours, but I don't really care. I just want my ego validated. And I think that perfectly sums up what's wrong with today's generation of females. Maybe, just maybe, y'all play games, us guys are gonna play games too. If you ignore me, I'm not gonna talk to you. Why would I talk to someone that ignores me? Why would I talk to somebody who, it's a one-way street. A relationship is not 50-50 like people think. I'm sorry, it's not 50-50. A relationship is 100-100. I put 100% of my effort in, that equates to 50. The other person puts 100% of their effort in, that equates to 50. If you put 50% in, and the other person puts 50% in, that's 50% of total effort combined. You go into anything in life, giving it 50%, you're gonna get an F. 50% of anything is an F. So, imagine with me, and it's really not that hard to imagine because it happens all the time. Someone's like, no, I don't talk to you because I want to see if you write me, or I don't talk to you because I want you to talk to me. I mean, they sit there and they're like, they wear their low-cut top and they try to look all cute, and then they play this sad song, "Where have all the good men gone?" And then, like, yeah, you drove them away when you were like, I'm going to ignore you so I can get my attention. I'm going to set thirst traps on the internet and then call you out for it. And I'm going to compile a list of how you're terrible and I'm good and you should stroke my ego. We're tired of getting shit on and having to chase a one-way street because you don't give the time of day to us. You just want your validation. He's too tall, he's too short, he's too rich, he's too poor, he's too good, he's too bad, he's too skinny, he's too fat. Like, there's all these guidelines that we have to follow, and personal preferences are fine, but oh my gosh, guys. And then you wonder why we have issues. And I've seen a lot of women on the internet in general, especially on TikTok, that are like,
Legit question, where are all the nice guys at who aren't asking every single girl on TikTok for their Snapchat, or asking for boob pictures, and aren't talking to multiple women? I feel like TikTok is getting to some people's egos, and it's hard to find good guys and good girls these days.
Okay, this is a genuine question, so please give me an actual answer in the comment down below, or duet this video, whatever. Why is it that men are so scared of being in a relationship? Like, seriously, why? Why are you guys so afraid of commitment? Like,
where have all the good guys gone? And like, do men not want relationships anymore? And sadly, we don't. Because we have kind of come to believe that it's just the risk and like the hardship of trying to be in a relationship is no longer worth the rewards of being in a relationship. More and more guys, the good guys that you're seeking, have decided that they're just tired of being shit on by the female community in general, and we've moved on. We've put our attention, our money, and, our effort into other things, like living our life and being successful. We don't seek validation from people of the opposite gender anymore because we don't need it. We've realized we don't need fake attention to be happy. We just go out, we become successful, and we're perfectly happy that way. And I think there's genuine women out there, and they get hurt when they're like, well, they don't want a relationship, they just want to hook up. Yeah, because by no fault of your own, other women have succeeded at breaking us down to the point where we're like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get my heart broken. Why would I do that? I saw a joke, And it's a very offensive joke. I'm going to say it. It wasn't my joke. I saw it. And I'm going to preface this by saying I think that this is offensive. And I'm not even a woman. A man says, I'm struggling with saying it because it's very offensive. A man said, why is a woman and a condom similar? Like, how are they the same? Because most of them spend more time in your wallet than on your dick. I think that the preface of the joke is true, but the joke itself is offensive. Now, here's what I mean by that. They spend more time in your wallet than trying to get your attention and actually legitimately further the relationship. Women wonder why men have trust issues. And then they go around and brag behind men's back about how, oh yeah, like, you know, this guy is just, I'm just using him for attention or whatever. And then we find out and it upsets us because anyone's going to get upset by realizing that they don't, you know. And another thing that I see a lot of very scary opinions on are false accusations. Now, you can make out what I'm talking about. I can't say the R word because YouTube doesn't like it. And people, for some reason, don't think that women that make those allegations should be in jail. It ruins a man's life, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's what I'm talking about when I say the risks associated with being in a relationship are no longer worth the reward of being in a relationship. I would rather spend my money on a nice car that isn't going to accuse me of doing something I didn't do, that I get to sit in and use every day and look at and admire, than spend my money on a person who isn't going to give me the light of day, is only talking to me because they want validation, is going to potentially accuse me of doing something I didn't do and try and ruin my life, and then get bent when it doesn't go her way, and also say, well, I shouldn't be in prison for doing that, you know, trying to ruin your life, because, you know, that just means that you don't support the actual legitimate allegations out there. And I'm sure, like, what? That's not what we say. No, that's exactly what I have seen that multiple times. I have seen a woman say, if you think women that make false R-word allegations should go to jail, then you're ignoring the actual real R-words that happen, and you're okay with women getting R-worded. And that's just extremely troubling because it makes zero sense. And how is that? So if you're not okay with women ruining men's lives and not getting punished for it, then you somehow are supporting men ruining women's lives and getting punished for it. And this is just another reason that I have massive trust issues in relationships, because how am I supposed to, what? Like, this is the epitome of double standards. Y'all want equality, y'all say we're sexist, and then you go out and do shit like that. And it's like, we want equality, but we also don't want equality, because we want to be better than you. I saw another woman say, the reason I think making false R-word accusations are okay is because it gives men a feeling of being helpless. It gives men a feeling of walking around in a marginalized body every day. Excuse me, what? How are you marginalized? Women today have more freedoms than they ever did. I don't understand. It's just crazy to me. Marginalized how? Because all the men you shake your ass to on OnlyFans, they love you? Because it's easier for women to turn on a camera and show parts of their body and dance provocatively and make more money than men make in a month? in like a week? What? And that's the issue. It is so easy for a woman to make money. So easy. You know what I did to get this car? I worked like actual hours at an actual job. I didn't turn on my webcam, pull my shirt up, and get $1,000 like that. And I know this sounds horribly misogynistic and sexist, but I don't think you understand how much money these women make. And then they complain about it. Why do men sexualize us? Why do men do this to us? Well, maybe maybe if you didn't show off your body like that constantly and then complain that you get sexualized, it's wake up, people. Wake up. And then they complain. And let's not even talk about the sexual aspect of it. If a woman starts a TikTok, not even being sexual, she will gain twice as many followers in a week than a man will get in a month, because she's a woman. Women have it easy when it comes to making money and getting a following, because they know how to play the game. They treat guys like trash so that they get too scared to be in a relationship, which means they get lonely, which means they look for women's validation on the internet. So they go, these same women, and start an account online selling or giving this validation, and they make money off of it. And then they complain and cry about how it's so hard to get listened to and so hard to get money and get a following, because men have it so much easier than they do, and that's just not the truth. Yes, in the past, women were marginalized and they didn't have a lot of freedom, but that's not true today. As a matter of fact, most court systems and most people will take the word of a woman over a man any day. Did I ever tell you the story of how I got accused of sexual assault at a job that I had for no fault or reason of my own? The company then proceeded to tell me how big of a piece of shit I was for doing something that I didn't do at all. None of my coworkers believed the word of this woman, because she was a coworker, and said he wouldn't do that. She went to HR, tried to get me fired. HR found out that she faked the entire thing. What happened? The woman got a slap on the wrist and said, "Don't do that again." And I got pulled into the office and was told again how big of a piece of shit I was for being a man, and told that I had to sign this paper and get written up because I need to watch what I say and do around people, because apparently she thought I sexually assaulted her, even though the company came out and said that it was all fake. What? Excuse me? Needless to say, I almost called my lawyer and got her sued for defamation. Because guess what? Guess what happened when it came time for that performance review? Again, for a third time, I was told how much of a piece of shit I was for being a man, and that I need to watch what I said. And because of what happened, which was nothing, I wasn't going to get a raise or a promotion that year at all. Excuse me? Needless to say, I was not very happy. But guess what? She got away with it because she was a woman. And don't you for a freaking second think that I'm being misogynistic or sexist. Because guess what? It happened to people there, and the woman always came out ahead. Guess what that same woman did? She had, I don't know if OnlyFans was really like big at the time, but she had the equivalent of an OnlyFans where she would sell stuff. And then she complains about something I didn't even do. What? I was told at my job that I would never receive a promotion or a significant pay raise because I was a white male, because I didn't have female genitalia. I was told that. And that's not uncommon. I have known people that have been told that. Y'all aren't marginalized, and y'all generally aren't sexualized. Because guess what? Sexualizing yourself and then saying men are sexualizing you doesn't count. What do you think is going to happen when you dress provocatively and dance sexually in front of thousands of men? It's a no-brainer. And then you get on us for saying, y'all thirsty, y'all a bunch of weirdos. Sorry, it's only a natural reaction. Now let's address this trend going around right now, by the way, because this really gets me upset. Let's address the trend of women going around thinking it's okay, thinking it's perfectly fine for them to say KAM, which, as you can guess, you know what, screw it. This video's might get taken down anyway, and it's sure as heck not going to get monetized. So they think they can go around and say kill all men. And they think it's perfectly okay to say that. And then the first time men turn around and flip it on their head and say, okay, so it's okay for us to say kill all women. Or worse, our word, all women. They're like, no, you can't say that. No, that's misogynistic, that's sexist. Excuse me. You're talking about ending an entire gender of people. And for those of you saying, well, you don't understand the point, you don't understand the joke, you don't understand what it means. Excuse me, I'm pretty sure kill all men means you want to kill all men. Don't get around it. If we're going to say that, then you can't say, well, then we can say, well, I don't think you understand what, all lives matter really means when we say all lives matter pertaining to Black Lives Matter. Okay? So don't cry. Kill all men means kill all men. And the fact that the double standard is so present there that when we flip it on our head and say, so would it be okay for us to say this? You're like, no, not at all. And then you get people that say, well, if you don't understand it and you think saying, the opposite, kill all women, is okay, you're the problem with today's society. Excuse me, I think you're the problem with today's society for saying you can end an entire gender group of people and get away with it. It's murder. It's worse than genocide. How do y'all think that's okay? What is that even supposed to mean? Why do people say that? I, to this day, do not get what that's supposed to mean. To me, it's just an incredibly sexist term from someone that absolutely hates men. That's got to be what it is, because it can't mean any other thing. Don't come at me and say, well, really, the philosophy behind it is a justification that men are... No, don't hit me with that. It means what it means. You said what you said, okay? I'm not saying it's okay to say either. I think they're all terrible things to say. The only reason that I brought it up was because I said, well, why can you say one thing and we not say the opposite? That's the only reason I brought up, KAW or RAW, whatever. I don't think any of them are okay to say. I'm just saying, why can't we, if you can say that, we can't say, it's a double standard is what it is. We can say it, and you can't. And that's another example of how women have it so much easier than men when it comes to a lot of different things. Women can say, kill all men, and for some reason men can't say the opposite, because that's just hate. But it's not hate when they say, kill all men. And then people are so ignorant and so caught up, and they're going to say whatever they want to say, that when someone comes at somebody and says, oh, so you do understand that by killing all men, there will be no more human race, because there will be no more reproduction and human society will be over.
This guy understands what I fucking want.
And people are like, reply to that and say, oh yeah, this guy understands exactly what I want. Oh, so you want the extinction of the human race. You're so caught up and you don't want to budge in your beliefs and admit you're wrong. So instead, you're going to sit there and look like an idiot by saying, yes, I want the entire human race to end. How stupid do you have to be to do that? Oh, okay, so you don't want to exist anymore either. Good to know. I'm glad. I mean, do you understand that, like, in 2018, okay? In 2018, men committed suicide 3.6 times more than women did. And out of the total people that were killed by suicide in 2018, almost 70% of those were white males. How many of those do you think are from domestic relations issues, fights for child's custody, which, by the way, usually go in a woman's favor, stuff like that? And do you know why? Because people, more specifically women, tell men, well, if you cry and complain about, not doing this and that, you're a whiny little baby. Okay, so now we don't have outlets to talk about our shit because it automatically makes us a bunch of whiny little bitches if we ever complain or talk about how we have it hard, because you guys don't want to hear it. And because you guys don't want to hear it, that automatically makes it a terrible thing when a man, someone just utters a word of complaining about how hard his life is. Don't give me that. Us women have it so much harder. You don't. You don't, sweetie. I'm sorry. And never mind that with all these false allegations that are getting thrown against these men who now can't complain or say anything about it because you're told you're a misogynist. And also include on top of that the court system that this has to go through costs super expensive, costs a lot of money, custody, divorce lawyers, add all this stuff into it, and now you have a bunch of men that are going through a really hard time, are broke because y'all are sucking the money out of us, and now we can't talk about it, and then that drives us to commit suicide. So do you understand now? Do you understand how sad and dangerous it is to say, if you're a man, you complain about your life, you're a sexist. If you're a man, you have it so much easier than a woman. Come on. You women talk about equality? Y'all want equality? Yeah, I want equality too. I really do. I want equality. I want to wake up and also be told that I can talk about what I want. I can talk about my problems. And I can cry on the internet and not be told, your life is so much easier than mine. I don't understand why you have to cry about anything. It's so disingenuous. And then these women cry misogyny. And I am going to be called a misogynist because of this video. I am going to be called a sexist because of this video. And you know what? It's because I'm speaking facts. You don't like the facts? I will put stats on the screen. I will put videos on the screen proving my point. Something a lot of people on the other side don't do. See, the minute you're hit with facts, it becomes a personal attack on women and just on your person in general. But then you can also sit there, provide no facts, and state your false opinion and scream in people's faces for not agreeing with you. And then when they say, excuse me, that's kind of attacking, that's a personal attack on me. No, it's not. You're just a snowflake. You're just sensitive. Wow. Talk about equality. Jesus. Maybe men are tired of working on a one-way street. Maybe men are tired of being called a pieces of shit for voicing their opinion and trying to vent. Maybe men are tired of having to fight for custody of their children against women that are actually crazy and a court system that costs way too much money and doesn't believe a word they say. Maybe men are tired for not being able to vent anywhere and being able to say anything without being told they're sexist and misogynistic. Maybe men are tired for being told, if you're this, you ain't shit. If you this, you ain't shit. You ain't shit to me. Guys are just things that I use for my pleasure and my validation. Maybe men are tired for being told, oh, if you actually treat a woman nice, if you actually go after them, you're a simp. That's what's wrong. That's why we don't want relationships. That's why we're so scared of commitment. Like, Jesus. This pisses me off. I will close with this. If you are a woman who thinks women are marginalized, men have it much easier than women, and women can't do anything wrong, I encourage you, get out from behind your screen. Stop posting yourself shaking your ass on TikTok and OnlyFans. Go get a real job and figure out how the world works. Anytime you spend time in the real world, not on the screen with these men that worship you and say, oh my gosh, you're a goddess because you got the curves and you got the blue eyes and what the men like. You spend time in the real world, it's easy to see men don't have it as easy as you think. Okay? Men don't magically get out of speeding tickets that they should have gotten because of their gender. Men don't magically get a position in a company despite having no experience when the man has experience because of their gender. Y'all kind of do. Men, God, you get me pissed off and let's get me in accidents, man. Men don't. I think I've said enough, honestly. This is enough. If for some reason you enjoyed this video, subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead. Give it a dislike. I know this video is going to get dislikes, but it just proves how many misguided people there are out there that will dislike this video. That's all I have to say. You want to comment how I'm wrong in the comments below? Go ahead. You want to make a video reacting to this, calling me a misogynist pig and a sexist? Go ahead. I really don't care. Because none of y'all are going to provide facts. Y'all are just going to yell and complain and whine. So, before you say, well, what about women in sports? They don't get paid the same. Okay, you don't look at how much they get paid. You look at how much revenue they bring in from all sources. How is, like, the Women's Basketball Association, who only makes, like, $60 million a year, gonna pay their players the same amount as the men, who get $3.4 billion a year in revenue in total? The NBA gets $3.4 billion. The WNBA gets $60 million. They're not going to be able to afford to pay the women players the same amount because not as many people watch it. It's as simple as that. So go ahead, make your little, I'm going to complain and yell at you because you just don't understand how the world works. Get a job. Go out in the world. That degree that you got in college for gender studies doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. You learned. I applaud you for getting a degree. I think it's great you went to college, you know. But this whole gender study stuff is a joke. They indoctrinate you and teach you that women can't do anything wrong because they're somehow marginalized. But then they don't provide you with real facts. They provide you with false, twisted facts that only look at one side of the coin and don't look at the wide spectrum of how everything works. Now, I could go on, but I'm ending this video here. And if you're actually my subscribers that are still subscribed by some miracle, I will see you all in the next video.